Yeah, wonderful. Welcome, Allison. If you could please introduce yourself and let us know how long you've been with Homemade.
My name is Allison Amonette, and I've been with Homemade since August of 2018, just short of a year.
Yeah, wonderful. We're so grateful to get to chat with you on your little anniversary. I'd love for you to start out by sharing some of your blood numbers prior to joining the program and your weight as well.
Okay. Um, I was diagnosed as diabetic in October of 2016, which was kind of sort of in the middle of my year of cancer treatment. I had breast cancer. And so I flew up weight-wise to 322. That was my top weight at that time. And when I was diagnosed as diabetic, my A1C was 7.4. High, but not out in the sky as some. So I'm thankful that that was caught early on. So the doctor gave me this little pamphlet, told me to restrict my carbs. And, one thing I can do a stellar job of is when something like that comes up, I can do a pretty good job of it. And so I played with it, and I cut here and I cut there, and went back in 3 months, and my A1C was, let's see, 7.4, 6.2 in 3 months. And then I went back 3 months after that, um, and it was 5.4. So in 6 months, I was able to get it down. Now, I didn't just do it with a carbohydrate restriction, because after about 2 months, I got really sick of it. And I just said, I just can't, not that I can't do this anymore, but I don't want to do this anymore. Um, and I had been a total vegetarian, a vegan for about a decade, back in my 20s and 30s. And so I thought, I'm going to go there. And so I just cold turkey switched. I already had a lot of the knowledge and the ability to do that. And so I switched to a total vegetarian diet, uh, probably 2 months into the other low carb diet, and stayed on it for about 6 months. And I think between those two things, it got my blood numbers down. My weight didn't really, it came down about 20 pounds, I think, to about 300. And I've just kind of sat there until the last few months. I kind of just sat more or less on there, a little bit less, a little bit more, um, since that time until I found Homemade. Um, I don't know what my blood numbers are now. The last time I had them checked, it was about 7.4, 7.5. So it's just kind of hanging in that vicinity now. My weight, um, that's another story. I think I was enamored with the idea that I could eat anytime I wanted to, whatever I wanted to, with Homemade. And so the listen part of cook, eat, listen, I just didn't get for the longest time. And so I just kind of got peeved at myself. And I know I was eating too much and eating too often when I wasn't hungry. And so I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I had known for a while that total vegetarian diet really tends to suit me very well. And so I went back to that, and I just cold turkey. I cut my snacks out. Anytime that I realized I wasn't hungry, I didn't eat. And so I'm down now to most of the time I eat twice a day. I eat breakfast fairly early, big breakfast, and then I eat lunch around 12 or 1. And then in the evening, I either don't eat or eat something like a piece of fruit. And my weight has started to come down the last 2 months. I've lost about 28 pounds.
Wow, that's incredible. How does that feel?
It feels awesome because I think I finally figured out where I needed to be personally. And
Yeah,
that shoe doesn't fit everybody, but it certainly seemed to fit me.
that's so great. It sounds like you finally honed in on what listening to your body feels like.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
sure. I feel like that I personally am still always learning that. It's a
Learning,
constant,
yeah,
yeah.
learning
Learn,
it and messing up on it and learning it again.
yeah, the learn and relearn. Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. You found this path that's worked for you. I'm so happy that we've been able to be by your side during this time. And yeah, I love that you have tried and tested many different things. And it really does take that time and effort to see what works for you personally. We're not a one size fits all approach, and never want to impose any sort of like restrictions or
Yeah,
must do's. Figuring out what works for you is the point. So
yeah,
really, really proud of you for taking this. Is it's been a while, and you've really sorted it out. You've worked through a lot of different options, and you found the one that works for you. So that's fantastic. It deserves a huge round of applause. And yeah, we're definitely proud of you.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for sharing some of your blood numbers part of the program and then some of your results. That's really fantastic. I look forward to seeing where you land in these next few months. You've figured out this, it's been about 2 months that you've kind of worked with this new schedule.
Hmm.
Curious to see what your blood numbers are with your next doctor's appointment.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping that it's going to be a big improvement, even though it's in an okay region now. I'd like to get it down. My fasting blood sugars in the morning finally dropped out of the hundreds. They were in the
Hey,
low 100s and their 90s, and I've even hit a couple of 80s. I had an 84, so
that's
um,
great. That's normal.
yeah,
That's really
yeah,
fantastic. That's huge. Wonderful. Well, congratulations. It sounds like the eating your meals towards the beginning of the day and then
hmm,
your body like fuel on those all day is what's working. So fantastic. I love hearing that your blood sugar numbers are in the normal range when you wake up. That's fantastic.
yeah,
Probably wake up feeling much better, more re-energized because you've been able to
yeah,
properly sleep throughout the night without your blood sugar spiking and then causing you to wake up.
yeah.
So that's great. Wonderful. I'd love to talk a little bit about what your cooking looks like before the program, and then we can shift into what it looks like now.
Well, before I certainly had the ability, but I just didn't most of the time. And when I did, it was not necessarily healthy food. I've always been more into the natural vegetables and fruits, but again, knowing what to do and being able to do it and doing it are sometimes two different things. Um, One thing the homemade program has done for me is with all the mindset help, the time mastery at the beginning of the program, um, really, really helped get me going. And the little knacks, little knick-knack things that Anna and you and others share about how to do things faster or more efficiently has had a very, very big effect on my cooking. At this point in time, I the only time I eat out is maybe once a week because I have a study group that meets for lunch. And the only way I can eat lunch is to eat it because we're at a restaurant. So they kind of haul me kicking and screaming to do that. But I've managed to do that fairly healthfully most everywhere we went. But other than that, I cook all my own food, or my daughter, who's her family is staying with us now, will cook as well. But everything is cooked, and we gradually, one thing at a time and another, I've chopped off things that were processed. Even almond milk, for example. I don't buy almond milk anymore. I make my own nut milks or soy milk. So a lot of the things that I just used kind of for convenience when I started the program, I've been able now to even change and do things more homemade.
I love that. That's so. I love hearing that first and foremost, you are taking it to the next level by cooking and almost all of your food and cutting out processed food. That is absolutely huge. We want to meet everyone where they're at, and if someone does want to use something like almond milk, that's fine. But the fact that you're making it yourself, like you're showing that because convenience and because like easy grab and go sounds like it's something that's important to you,
Mm-hmm.
making that happen simultaneously with the homemade products like almond milk that you make yourself or other milks. And that's incredible that you've been able to combine those two things, ease and convenience and homemade, because that just proves that like you're taking all of these principles that we're teaching you and you are making them your own and you are really utilizing them on an everyday basis.
Well, I just realized one morning when I was making my smoothie that, why am I going to the refrigerator and pouring this out of a container? I said, I got almonds right here. So when I'm out of almond milk, I just throw some almonds in water and the blender and blend it up, put the extra in some quart jars, put them in the fridge, and, 1 minute maybe for
Exactly.
all that. And I have no problem, if I needed to using the store-bought again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's just whenever I can, I try to do those things.
I love it. That's fantastic. And the fact that it sounds like you're cooking with your daughter and her family.
Yes. She's also a total vegetarian, so.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful. That was you that posted all those pictures of the beautiful fruits, right? I like
Uh,
back. It
I
was
don't, I don't know. I've
it
been
was like
posting, I'm sorry.
it was just like a ton of beautiful different kinds of fruits and veggies. Which really
It might have been, most of what I've been posting lately has been salads, because that's what I've
yeah.
been into. That's another thing I kind of figured out, as many times as we've seen Anna with her 64-ounce salad bowl, it just never clicked with me. And then all of a sudden one day I went, salads. And so for me, I eat a big, huge plate of salad every lunchtime before I ever eat any other food. And then I have a second plate with, beans and rice or spaghetti or whatever else it is we're having. And by doing that, I not only get all the fiber and all the good nutrition from the salad, but it really helps me control what I eat on that second plate.
Yes. Yes, because you've learned how to listen to your body and
Yeah.
you are eating all the things that are nourishing first, and then if you're still hungry, enjoy
Yeah.
the food as well. I love
Right.
that. That's beautiful. Well, fantastic. I love hearing that. I also love hearing that you're doing this with your family. It sounds like your daughter's a vegetarian, but you're also, I feel like with a lot of people that either are vegan or vegetarian, there's a lot of convenience products now that are
Yeah.
specifically for that lifestyle. And it's like these products are super processed. And so
Yeah.
that you're able to cook with your daughter and you guys sounds like you guys are making some really beautiful homemade meals together that are free of processed foods and packed with delicious, healthy fruits and vegetables. That's fantastic. I love.
I do have a disclaimer though. my daughter, and my grandsons are not here on Saturday mornings. So when we eat breakfast together and then they go. So when I have lunch, I usually have one of those highly processed vegetarian things, like some kind of strips and a sandwich or something. Um, or like probably tomorrow or the next Saturday that comes around, I'll probably have a cauliflower pizza, cauliflower crust pizza,
Yeah,
and probably make some uh, some cheese to go on that out of cashews. So
awesome.
that'll be a little more processed. So Saturday noon is my little bit of processed.
Yeah, you know what? That's great though. Like you've found a way for you to enjoy some of these things that like you're not enjoying every day, but you're enjoying on the weekends, and that's totally
Mhm.
okay. And to enjoy them without guilt is the point. So I hope you're enjoying them and not worrying about
I have my big salad first, so
it. Exactly. There you
I'm
go.
good to go.
Perfect. Perfect. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing all that. I'd love to talk a little bit about your mindset. So we've talked a little bit about listening to your body and how you approach, making your food. Has there been like a big shift in your mindset since entering the program or more recently?
No, I think certainly since starting the program, I've listened to the time mastery several times. In fact, I have a little card sitting right there on my desk. It's got day 1, day 2, day 3, and some things that I listed out that I work on. And I guess one of the biggest things early on was never touch the same thing twice, because I was very guilty of doing that, both on my desk and in my email and just about anywhere it was. Um, and then the idea that I had a little routine in the morning. So I do have a little routine in the morning, and it varies just depending on what the day is. But for me, it always starts with taking my blood sugar and my blood pressure, and then it goes from there. Um, I've kind of had a nice time this summer because I teach at a local university, and I was off for a good portion of the summer. And when I did work, it was an online class. So I've had a lot of flexible time this summer, but don't worry, that's about to end. Starting next week, um, I'll be back in the thick of it. So we've been doing a lot of planning recently about what days am I going to take my lunch? Are there any days that I can come home and eat lunch? And just kind of thinking those things through. I even got some containers so that I would have, my salad container and then my other food container, just to make it easy. So I wouldn't have to do anything but open and eat. And so we've done some planning like that.
Awesome.
I've severely cut down on uh, sitting and reading and watching TV. Uh, I don't do that so much anymore. When I go back to teaching again, I'll go back to CDs on books on CDs for my car. So kind of adjusted my commute because my commute's about 35, 40 minutes one way. So that's where I do my reading now, pretty much.
Yeah, sounds great. That's fantastic. So you're able to, when you are home, you're able to be a little bit more active, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Cool. You mentioned blood pressure. Do you have some blood pressure issues?
I used to have high blood pressure, but I don't anymore. It came down when the blood sugar started coming down, the blood pressure came down. I was never on any medication for diabetes, which I'm very thankful for. Um, but I was on medication for blood pressure, and I was able to get completely off of that.
That's fantastic. When did that happen?
Uh, Probably about the time I joined Homemade. It's probably
Wonderful.
a year or so.
Awesome. So you've been on a roll. That is great. I love hearing that. Cool. Well, just would love to close with a little talking about what you think about the members only group and just like peer support. You're really engaged on the members only group and post a lot of pictures of your food, which is awesome, and provide support for other members. So if you don't mind sharing a few words about that, would be great.
I do I try to spend a little bit of time every day, on those, moments when I'm sitting here or there, I'll use my phone and I'll get on and I'll read posts and respond. And I try to respond as many as I can, although I do limit how long I'm on every day. I try to post pictures of my food a couple of times a week. In fact, my grandsons often ask me, "Why do you take pictures of your food before you eat?"
That's so sweet.
I threatened to take pictures of their food before and post it, but they're very good eaters as well. They eat almost as much salad as I do, and they eat more of the other food than I do. And they're 7 and 10, so
Wow.
uh, they're pretty cool. But as far as the interaction, I love the interaction on the Facebook group. just that part alone um, is very, very worthwhile. The support that we get, and it's not always the same people. When you post something, it's not always the same people that respond to you. It's different people.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, some of us golden oldies that have been around there for a while will pop up on a lot of things. But it's really been a support. Even when I posted things I knew weren't the best thing, there was always support there. If it was totally out of whack, they would say, "That's okay. Tomorrow's another day," or "That's okay. Don't feel guilty about it." And then as things got a little better, the comments, of course, changed accordingly. So I would encourage newer people not to worry about what you put up as pictures or comments, because all of us that have been here a while were where you were when we started. And we posted stuff that, we didn't know, and we asked questions about things that I guess probably would be commonplace to those of us that have been around for a while. But everybody does that, and you just need to ask what you need to ask so that you can get some help and support with it.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much. Well, Allison, I want to thank you so much for your time joining us. Any last words?
No, I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you, and hopefully for others to see my experience with homemade, so that they might be encouraged to give this a try, because I think it can really, really, really change your life.